got themselves a divorce. Yeah. They went in front of the judge. And the judge says, now, Ole, I'm going to give Lina $450 a month. And Ole says, oh, that's pretty nice of you, Judge. Maybe sometime I throw in a little bit too. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Oh. One day, Ole died. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Lina went to undertaker and he said, well, you know, part of this thing, you got to go to newspaper and write out one of them their obituaries. And it's going to cost you maybe $50, $75, but he'll tell you about it. So Lina went over to the newspaper office and he said, well, yeah, it's going to cost usually $50, $75, put the obituary in the paper, telling all about Ole's life and everything. But he said the first 5 words are free. So Lina says, you got the paper and pencil? So he gave her paper and pencil, and she scribbled down something quick. She says, here, put that in the paper. Ole dead, both for sale. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Yeah. One day, Ole was pounding a sign in his yard, and it said, boat for sale. Sven came by, he says, Ole, what do you mean boat for sale? Oh, you don't got no boat. All you got is an old John Deere tractor and that old combine. And Ole says, yeah, they boat for sale. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Oh, let's see. Oh, Lars Jr. went to the Olympics for Norway, and he won the gold medal. Let's hear it for Norway. Yeah, sure, you betcha. He was so proud he brought it home and had it bronzed. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Oh, Ole and Lina went ice fishing. You know the hard water, you know, winter time, yeah. They went ice fishing. Took them 3 years. Or three hours for Lina to get the hole big enough to launch the boat. Yeah. Ole and Sven was ice fishing and they was catching a whole bunch of stuff. Sven was pulling them in one after another. Ole, he not catching nothing. And he says, Sven, we went to the same bait shop. We got the same bait. How come you catching all the fish and I'm not catching nothing? Sven said, Ole says, what? And Sven goes, you got to keep the bait warm. Yeah, sure, you betcha. But Ole and Sven, they was ice fishing one day and they not catching hardly nothing at all. And the guy went by on a great big snowmobile, a big bucket full of fish. So they said, I told you, we should have gone trolling. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Oh my golly, let's see. Oh. Ole Jr. came home from school and he had the project he had to do. And he asked his ma, he says, Ma, where did I come from? And she said, oh, little Ole, the stork brought you. He said, well, where did you come from? So you have to go ask Grandma. And so he went in the other room and he asked Grandma, where did Ma come from? And she says, oh, little Ole, a stork brought your mama too. So he said, well, Grandma, where did you come from? And she said, oh, you'll have to go ask great-grandma over there in her house. And so little Ole walked out across the street and went to great-grandma's house. He says, great-grandma. She said, huh? He said, great-grandma, where did Grandma come from? Oh, a stork brought her. So little Ole went home and righted the report. He said, there has been no natural births in our family for 4 generations. Yeah, sure, you betcha. One day, Ole and Sven, they was building a house, and they got all the rafters up, and Ole was up there making sure the ends were all straight there. He was up on the ladder cutting them off, and that darn Sven, he climbed up there on that ladder too to see if Ole was doing a good job, and by golly, he got his ear cut off. He got so close. So they was down on the ground looking in the sawdust, and Ole says, "Oh, here, I found your ear." And Sven said, "That's not my ear. My ear had pencil behind it." Yeah, sure, you betcha. Oh, let's see, there's got to be some more here. There's only a bunch of paper left here. Let's see. Oh, one day, Ole went to the New York City. How many been to the New York City? Huh? Yeah, quite a few of you. He went into Chinatown, and by golly, there he seen the sign right up there above the store, Hans Olafson's Chinese Laundry. He said, Hans Olafson's Chinese Laundry, this I got to see. And so he went in there, and there was a little old Chinese man sitting there, and he says, "Are you the owner of the store?" He says, "Yeah." He said, "Now, I don't understand. How come you got the store named Hans Olafson's Chinese Laundry?" And the little Chinese man said, "Well, I came to Ellis Island, and I sitting there, and there was this big, tall Swede ahead of me. And the lady asked him what his name was, and he said, Hans Olafson." So she wrote it the paper and stamped it and gave it to him. And she said, "Next," and I got up there in line, and she said, "And what's your name?" And I said, "Sam Ting." Yeah, sure, you betcha. Sven ran over to Ole's house. He said, Ole, I just saw somebody steal your truck." And Ole said, "Did you see who it was?" He says, "No, but I got his license plate." Yeah, sure, you betcha. One day, Ole wasn't feeling very good. He was feeling poorly, so he went to doctor, and doctor says, "Oh, Ole, I got some bad news for you. You're gonna die." And Ole said, "Well, what should I do?" And he says, "Well, you better go home and tell Lina." Yeah. So he went home. He told Lina, "Oh, doctor said I'm gonna die." She said, "Well, you might as well go over there in the corner and sit in your lazy boy recliner. You do that pretty good."
Oh no.
So anyway, Ole went over and sat in his recliner. And he pulled the lever, you know, the feet go up and the head goes back, and he's sitting there thinking about all of his life and the kids and everything, thinking about Lina. Yeah. And then he smelled the most beautiful thing he ever smelled, and he knew what it was, and he pushed the lever and the feet go down, the head go up, and he got himself up out of the chair, and he got over to the kitchen, and there it was, a great big pile of lefse. Now, how many here know what lefse is? Yeah, well, we change it now, because those of you who know what lefse is, you think lefse, and the rest of you, I tell you, it was his favorite cookies. Cookies not the same as lefse, but you'll understand. Anyway. So anyway, Ole reaches for the lefse or the cookies, depending on whether you know what is the best thing. It's lefse. He's reaching there, and Lina whacks him with the big spoon. And she says, "Ole, there for the wake." Yeah, sure, you bet. We sing a song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take the sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. And I hung my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I